The Punisher 2004, directed by Jonathan Hensleigh, stars Tom Jane and John Travolta. So the movie, we start off in Tampa Bay during an armed weapons deal between Mickey Duca, Robert Saint, and Otto Creed. So Saint and Duca, they hand over Creed the cash. Creed hands them the guns. All of a sudden, the feds show up. Creed pulls out a gun. He gets shot. And then it's just all guns blazing from there. Robert Saint gets killed. And Duca is taken into custody. So they put Otto Creed and Robert Saint in the back of an ambulance to take him over to the morgue to identify the bodies. They identify one of the bodies as Robert Saint, the son of the crime lord Howard Saint. He is also a casino owner as well. And then they identify Otto Creed. However, Otto Creed is not dead. He is alive. He was shot by blanks, because this was a setup. We get the reveal that Otto Creed is actually Frank Castle, an ex-military veteran who's also a FBI agent, who is posing as Otto Creed as a drug dealer. So they caught the Saints with their pants down, I guess. Frank Castle is also retiring from the force. He's having a family reunion in Puerto Rico. Then he will head off to England. The Saints hear that their son Robert has been shot and killed, and they are furious and they want to find the man responsible. So Howard Saint sends his friend Quentin Glass to look for this Otto Creed. And then they find out that Otto Creed is Frank Castle, who's going to have a family reunion in Puerto Rico. Howard Saint tells Quentin Glass and his team to go down there and kill Frank Castle. However, Howard Saint's wife, Olivia Saint, wants his whole family to be killed. And that's what we get. We go to the family reunion. Quentin Glass shows up along with like 7 other people. They take out Frank Castle's entire family. Not just his immediate family, not just his wife and his kid, but the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, and the cousins. There were like 15 to 20 people there, and those guys mowed them all down. I knew that in the Punisher comics that his family was killed. I didn't know his entire family was killed. I thought it was just his immediate family. But this film really shows you the type of motivation that Frank Castle has to go after these crime lords. His entire family lineage is gone. There's no one to carry on the Castle name. So Frank Castle, he's left for dead. He's depressed. And he wants to seek revenge against Howard Saint. But he can't go after Howard Saint alone. So he resurfaces on the scene, and he recruits one of the Saints' errand boys named Mickey Duca. The Saints don't like him, they reject him, they call him a prick. They insult him a lot. So he agrees to work with Castle. He'll do Castle's bidding if Castle doesn't kill him. So they agree to that deal. The Punisher's not going to go in and fight Howard Saint alone. What he's going to do is he's going to make the Saint family turn on themselves through the use of Mickey Duca. That's what happens. Mickey Duca, he sets up a bunch of traps, and then everyone falls into it. Alright? And the 3 big people that are falling into a trap is Quentin Glass, Howard Saint's right-hand man. Then you have Olivia Saint, Howard Saint's wife. And what Frank Castle does here, he's sort of he's trying to create a love triangle between the three. Alright? And he's using Mickey Duca to set him up. Now, Quentin Glass, it is revealed in the film that he is gay. And Frank Castle has pictures of him being gay. And he's also extorting money from Quentin as well. Because if he doesn't give Frank Castle the money, he's going to release the pictures online. Mickey Duca is just there to make sure everything is in place. Alright? He wants the Saints dead just as Frank Castle. Now, Quentin doesn't know he's being set up, nor does Olivia Saint, nor does Howard. But Howard thinks that Quentin and Liv are in some kind of sexual relationship. He believes that Olivia is cheating on him with Quentin. Howard Saint sees that there's dissension amongst the ranks. All of his money is gone. All of his men that he sent after Frank Castle, they get killed. The Russian, he's gone. All of his goons, they get killed. So he has to do something. He takes out Quentin Glass. He stabs him with a knife. He takes Olivia Saint to the neighborhood where they first met and throws her off a bridge where she lands on a railroad track and where she gets hit by a train, so she gets killed. So now we have Howard Saint and Frank Castle one-on-one, and Frank Castle gets the best. This is not a game of revenge, it's a game of punishment. Howard Saint takes out Frank Castle's family. Frank Castle will take out Howard Saint's family. That's what happens in this film. I think the film is great. I like the story. I like the plot. I like John Travolta. They got a big name actor in here from the 80s and 90s. You know him from Grease. They got Will Patton from Remember the Titans. They got Kevin Nash, WWE superstar Kevin Nash, to play the Russian. They got Rebecca Romijn, who played Mystique in the X-Men series. So they got a lot of top-notch actors in here. That's what makes this film well-grounded. The plot was good, like Tom Jane. His Punisher is very different from the others. He doesn't really rely on brute force and guns and knives like Dolph Lundgren or Ray Stevenson. No, he's he's smart. He relies on a lot of gadgets, a lot of traps, and his quick wits. So that's what he relies on. He's very smart. So he knows what he's doing. And he's using Mickey Duca to put everyone in the right places so that the Punisher can spring the trap. As far as the rating for this film goes, I will give it a 10 out of 10. I don't find a single flaw in this movie. Might not be one of the best films I've ever seen, but I think this is Hensley's directorial debut, and I think he did pretty well. I think they did The Punisher as close to the comics as they could. But in 2004, when this film was released, comic book movies were not like what they were now. They were kind of frowned upon. Spider-Man 2 was alright, but then you had Blade Trinity, and you had this one, people just weren't too sure about it. This film made $50 million at the box office. Lower than what they expected, but they did make a lot of money on the DVD sales, because people bought it on home video. Then 8 years later, yet Thomas Jane reprised his role as the Punisher in the short film Punisher Dirty Laundry. That's where the Punisher has to save a boy from a bunch of drug lords. 10 minutes long. You have Ron Perlman in the film. The film's mysterious. It's violent. It shows elements of reality. And it teases a future use for the Punisher. Does Marvel have a future use for the Punisher? We will get into that tomorrow. So there's your thoughts on The Punisher. Give it a 10 out of 10. And then the short film released, Punisher Dirty Laundry, back in 2012. I'll also give that a 10 out of 10. I would recommend going back and watching both of those. That's my thoughts on 2004's The Punisher. Now see you all for the next Punisher film, my personal favorite of the series, Punisher Warzone.